Well, folks, that is Eiger Lighthouse, which is the official beginning of the GR11, which I'm about to start now. Today's stage is meant to be about 31 kilometers. Haven't had any coffee or food yet this morning, but I've taken on quite a bit of water. There's plenty of water stops on the way. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this series. I'm just going to start walking, see where I end up, and then once my days are finished, the amount of days I've got off, I'll head back home. This time of year you've got storms in the afternoons. Next couple of days I think there's quite a lot of rain. As I say, we'll just as we go, I'll make it up as I go along. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll speak to you later. Glad I brought this little 500 milliliter foldable bottle, because there's quite a few fonts on the way. So I've got a 2 litre bottle in on the side of my bag, which I'll just keep until I get to wherever I end up camping or staying. But on the way, every time there's a font, I'll drink most of this 500 milliliter, and well, it depends how close they are, but every time I see a font, I'll fill up, take a sip, fill up, and then I've always got that 500 milliliter just to take as I'm walking. So that's where I've just walked from. Followed the port road along here, and I've just hit my first hill. About halfway up it, I think. Whew. When you haven't done it for a while, you take a few days to get into it. It's just the closeness of the weather as well. Dripping in sweat, absolutely soaked through. But yeah, feeling it. Probably about a quarter to a third of the way. 10:30. So not doing too bad at all. Usually last time I did on one of these big hikes, after each thing I would go buen camino, but this isn't the Camino, so I won't be doing that. The Camino as well, this has got, obviously this is not a pilgrimage like the Camino is. When I was walking that, you really felt the history of it, and so it did feel like a pilgrimage of a kind. And just because it's so old, and I think the first book written for this GR11 was 1996, so we're only talking like just over 30 years, well about 30 years old, and none of it was waymarked back then, and then over time it is, so yeah, and it's got a completely different feel. This is just a through hike, no pilgrimage things. Although you do pass crossover parts of the Camino, I believe, on some parts of it, or can do. But yeah, let's see how it goes. So I took a little bit of time out there. So you can see I've changed my top. It's got a bit of a hood. It's one of those sun ones where they're quite thin, but got a little hood on. When the sun comes out, you can protect yourself a bit more, and it reflects the sun as well. Got some UV properties in there or something. So now, as you can tell, I'm just walking slowly. I've got plenty. I mean, I've got all the hours in the day. I was walking about 5 kilometers an hour on average, even with this pack. I do that normally when I'm doing like without any pack. So I thought, right, just slow down. You know, you're not in any hurry. Enjoy being in this. Now I'm in the woodland, because before I was in a bit of town. I was kind of I think I was just a bit eager to get out of the town, you know. And then I hit a run, which is another town. I was just like, okay, let's just. And I think I was just a little bit anxious in my mind a little bit. And when I'm anxious, I tend to walk fast and not think straight. Generally, when I'm hiking this, I always, for an hour, every hour, just sit down for a few minutes and just, you know, get yourself sorted again. Make sure everything, head healthy, heart healthy, body healthy. Just check those things. And if you are, then get up and start going again. And I had the shortest rain shower. I think it lasted 12 seconds. I got the camera out, it stopped. I felt all the leaves coming down. There was some water, and a few people in the park were like looking up, getting ready to scamper. And literally gone. It's really weird. Just walked up there, not far now, to hopefully the place that's open to have some food. My neck and shoulders. Things are, most of my weight is on my fat gut, but it's still pulling on the shoulders. I'm absolutely dripping. Thing is also on the inside of my sunglasses, where I've sweated so much that the sweat inside has turned to salt, and then you can't, when you try and take it off, it takes away the actual protection of the sunglasses. Welcome back. What a mad couple of days. Long story short, there was some awful weather came in and a lot of stuff got wet. Looking at my camera and everything, all the electricals and the main stuff the expensive stuff and my sleeping bag etc. all stayed dry. But I was forced to miss a couple of stages. I had to jump on the bus, and you join me now today in Bergetta stroke Auritz, which is I think it's usually the 5th stage. I did the first one, missed 2, 3 and 4, and now I'm on the 5th. I'd rather miss the beginning than some at the end, because I really want to get into the high mountains. A lot of these first few stages you kind of they're really just because you want to start from the Atlantic, but you're walking through towns, a lot of concrete, and all they're pretty towns. I'm not that bothered if I miss 1 or 2 of them, because I'd rather get towards the end, my goal, hopefully, possibly Corrals, possibly further, depending on how these days go. Once I'm in the high mountains, I'm okay, because there's refuges there if it stops, places to stay if it's really bad weather. And speaking of weather, it's been crazy. I mean, yesterday was lashing down, thunder, lightning, up in the mountains. The next few days I think it's going to be a little bit better, but then you never know with the mountains. That's the thing, it can come at any time. As soon as it starts getting hotter. It's only about 16 Celsius today, which is perfect for me for hiking. It's a bit of a shorter stage today. It's about 18 kilometers, maybe 19. I could push it a little bit further. I'm going to see how I feel at the end. I'm in no real hurry to get anywhere. It's only about 10 o'clock. And as I say, 18 kilometers. Apparently it's quite an easy walk today. So I'll just take my time, stop, have something to eat probably, and we'll just see how the day goes. But walked through some beautiful woodland, no rain so far, sort of grey overcast. It's perfect really. I stayed in an albergue yesterday and it was the first or second stop on the Camino de Santiago. So I was speaking with a few peregrinos, a few pilgrims in there, and they all left this morning and said a few more buen caminos. Brought it back a little bit. And yeah, and now I'm on I've seen 1 person walking the opposite way. Apart from that, I haven't seen a single soul. Yeah, beautiful, really cool weather. I've got this Bringe merino top on. It's the thinner one of the 2 I have, but it's perfect for these conditions. And even though I'm sweating a little bit, it's not soaking me like the other top that I have does. Yeah, it's perfect. And plus you can get a few days out of a merino top before you give it a wash, which I'll do with an albergue or a refugie when I eventually arrive at one. But anyway, let's crack on. Really lovely. stopped off in a place called Obara. I stopped off there, had a menu del dia, a couple of pints, and now I'm making the final 4 or 5 kilometers to Hidi Bedi, where I will stay in a hostel. Looking good though. My map app, thinks I'm going backwards, but I went backwards a long time ago. Good morning everyone. I'm well rested, well fed, and hopefully that's going to be enough for the 2 hours I have ahead of incline, literally 2 hours, and I'll show you where I'm headed in a moment. And then it's about 20 kilometers in total. It's a lovely day. Probably have to put some sun cream on shortly. So yeah, it's going to be a hot one, but in a couple of hours I'll hopefully be at the top of this limestone cliff, which I'll show you. But all being well, I'll see you at the top. So I'm headed to the top ish, but there's a little bit more incline, but a little bit further along, so it flattens out a bit now. Beautiful views up here though, and seeing what you've just seen in the distance there is where I'm heading into the Pyrenees. Yeah, really lovely day. Pretty knackered, but I feel better than yesterday. But my back is dripping wet and I can feel it running down the back of my trousers, giving me a wet arse. Always nice. Crocodile Dundee. Nearly the same, isn't it? There's a good girl. There's a good girl. You're beautiful, aren't you? Oh, she's excellent. Easy. That's crocodile for you.